So a couple days ago now, I actually made a video talking about my official 2023 NBA mock draft and what I have these teams kind of selecting, who I have them selecting and whatnot. And in that video, I did of course talk about who I think the San Antonio Spurs should be selecting in the 2023 NBA draft with their first round pick. Of course, this video is a clip from that, so if you guys would like to go check out the full thing and you know, who I have the other players going to and being selected by, please go and check out the full video linked in the description down below. And the last thing before I get into, you know, who I think the Spurs should be selecting, I would just like to say that, of course, we don't have the official 2023 NBA draft lottery revealed just yet. Of course, the season still has a couple more games to go, this and that, so I will, of course, be kind of going over the standings at the time of making this video. And with the standings, the San Antonio Spurs are actually third last in the NBA. Therefore, they will be selecting with the third overall pick. So I guess without further ado, here's who I actually have the San Antonio Spurs selecting. With the third overall pick though, I do have the San Antonio Spurs selecting Brandon Miller. Now, I'm not sure if Brandon Miller is the most Spurs player out there. Spurs are really specific on the players that they, of course, try and take. We know that Jeremy Sohan was a very Spurs type of player, you know, very defensive orientated, and Brandon Miller might not be as good of a defender as like a Jeremy Sohan type of guy, but I think there is a lot of potential on that end when we do look at Brandon Miller. He is, at the time of making this video, compared to Paul George coming into this draft, a guy who's 6'9", who has the ability to go from the 2 to the 4 position on defense. He is a bit lanky, but we know that's never been an issue for Spurs players in the past. He's incredibly athletic and a great scorer as well, and is believed that he could potentially develop on that two-way and type of role that Paul George has done for so many years, being an elite scorer and an elite defender as well. If Brandon Miller can, of course, be an elite defender in the NBA, that will 100% be what the Spurs want and what the Spurs need. Again, the only knock on Brandon Miller is there is a bit of an issue with explosiveness, and he doesn't exactly seem to have a great burst and being able to separate off the dribble. That can definitely be an issue in the NBA. It's a thing that makes a lot of players great, and we've seen draft players in history be not very good at that and not really translate to the NBA. Of course, one being Josh Jackson. There was always an issue sometimes with his, of course, I think, dribble off the first step, and I think he's burst at times, and Josh Jackson would either be really good, you know, with that, and I think his athleticism would show that, but at times when he was kind of matched against, you know, much more elite players than what he played with in college, we know Josh Jackson just couldn't do it, and that is a concern I think Brandon Miller could definitely have. But if he does adjust to that, I think he could be an absolutely terrific scorer in the NBA. But the most important thing is, I think with this Spurs team and how they want to play, if he can be a two-way player like Paul George and put an awesome and consistent effort in on the defensive end, he's going to be exactly what the San Antonio Spurs want, and he is going to fit into their system perfectly. And that's exactly what they need. It's been said that he's a pretty decent shooter as well. And yeah, I think that it will be a very good fit. Again, if he can be a defender, then yeah, awesome. It's a terrific move right there. Being lanky and all that stuff, one of the few teams that I don't think really care about that is the Spurs. The Spurs aren't going to force you to put on weight. They're not going to do any of that, I don't think. And if anything, Popovich is a terrific coach who's going to use that to his advantage and make sure that Brandon Miller gets the best out of it that he possibly can. So realistically, he might not be the most Spurs player in the world so far, but if he can develop into what they are saying Brandon Miller could potentially develop into, he will very rightfully become a Spurs player and could be a similar player to Paul George and even a Kawhi Leonard in the NBA, in my opinion. I think, yeah, that just kind of fits in with what I think the Spurs want. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. What do you guys think of my official 2023 NBA mock draft? Of course, I would definitely like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys agree with my picks or do you guys not? I would like to know. Don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/long, channel. All of them will be getting linked down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.